Hi, I'm Micah Clark with the American Family Association. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about a program that I've mentioned before, both in my weekly email and in our video. It's something you may or may not have heard about. It may be going on in your community as this program starts around many parts of Indiana. And I have a guest with me today, a good friend who serves with me on the LifeWise Steering Committee in Noblesville. And I have Holly Wilson with us today. Holly, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. You are the Noblesville Director for LifeWise. So why don't we tell our audience again what LifeWise is? You've been to the training. You're involved again. This going in Hamilton County. It's going on in many counties around Indiana. But tell our audience who maybe doesn't know about LifeWise what LifeWise Academy is.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and be part of this. LifeWise is a program. It's not local. They are out of Ohio, and they run national programs where it's locally funded, it's privately funded, and they teach the Bible to public school students during the school day. And that's something that's different than what we've seen before, where we've seen programs that are after school. This is during the school. It's privately funded. It's parent permitted, and what I think I'm missing one more, three things. I'll get back to you on that. But it's a new thing. We have I think Carmel, Zionsville, Fishers, Westfield, and Cicero. I think are all coming on board, and we're about all in the places, one a little behind the other. But we should be rolling out here pretty much across the county and providing this option basically for parents. So parents have to choose it. And it doesn't disrupt any of the essential subjects during the school day. Not all students have to participate. So it's just an option that we haven't had before.
Well, I know that this stems from some people may be saying, how can this happen? Well, there's a court case going back to the 1950s that allows what's called release time, where students can do religious education and be released by the school to do that for a certain period of time. It doesn't take away from leaving algebra class or science class or something essential. But there are points in the school day where kids have some free time or other things, and they can be released for religious instruction. In fact, we recently had a law in Indiana change to where it is required. Again, the Supreme Court ruled in our favor, and schools must be allowed to do this, but it requires the schools to make accommodation for this if parents want it and if it's off campus and again led by non-school staff. So and if you're listening, Holly and I work in Hamilton County where we live, but I know that there's LifeWise programs going up in northeast Indiana, up near the Fort Wayne area. Things have been going along for a long time. But tell us a little bit maybe about the steps that are taken, because LifeWise has a very kind of rigid plan that works very well. It's a model that they've created for, I don't remember how many they have now, over 100 programs across the United States maybe. Tell us a little bit about some of those steps if people are interested in LifeWise for their own local school.
Sure. I can sort of walk you through how I became interested. I hadn't heard of Life. I had heard of other programs through our church that our church supported, and piqued my interest over the years, but wasn't at a spot where I could engage with that. And so at this time, I think I came across Martin at some other event we went to, and he mentioned it, and I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. And so the first thing I did was I went home and I Googled it to get a little more information, just to see, is this really in alignment with what I believe? Is it something that I could get involved in? Do I have the time for it? The best introduction for me was a steering committee, and I think that might be step one. If you go to lifewise.org, it lays it out. It's a 10-step program. I would prefer that people go to ours, our local one. So it'd be our Noblesville one. I can share that link with you, so maybe you can embed it into whatever email goes out. But getting involved in the steering committee will allow you to see what steps have to be taken. There's a certain number of interests that has to be shown, and that form is easily done online. You can share that with your church at various events, however it makes sense. And then once you hit that mark, You engage with a mentor or a coach that helps the steering committee continue. The first step is identifying a director, something that I wasn't interested in at the time. But as you meet with these steering committee members and you all begin praying for these things, I think it's wonderful to see how the Lord really starts to reveal when you're looking and when you're praying and asking the direction that you need for this. And there's a lot of faith, I think, that comes with that. There's a certain amount that these programs cost for administration because they're done very well. The training is excellent. There's background checks through the teachers, everybody at every staff level and volunteer. Anybody that has anything to do with the program is going to go through a background check and extensive training for the role that they're going to fill, which is very reassuring in today's world. And so there's a lot of accountability. It's a spread out program, really nice thing. It's non-denominational. And so you see that you can reach into churches across the board. So in our case, we go to a church in Westfield. I live in Noblesville. My kids have been in the Noblesville district and graduated from the high school, but I also have two that are in a private school in Fishers. And so we kind of have fingers all over the county, and I'm able to reach into our church to ask for help. I'm able to find people that are locally, which is what we really need. The local programs will need local churches to partner with them to find a place for these programs to take place. Because as you said, Micah, and I think that's the one I forgot, was it does have to be off campus. So the children are transported from their school and taken to a local church or a place. It doesn't have to be a church, but ideally it's a local church that they can connect with. And that is really one of the core things that the program, LifeWise, wants to create, is a network for these kids to go into the community and continue being discipled in whatever church they feel will meet their needs, especially led through their family, and create a difference for them there.
Now, I know in Noblesville, and most programs I know, the churches are not across town. It's usually we're looking for a church or a building that's near the school so the kids don't have to be transported very far. In some cases, they walk to the maybe a church down the street with the staff. So this isn't about busing kids across school, although a lot of LifeWise programs have a bus. It's usually within a few blocks, and we've got churches we're looking at near certain schools in Noblesville. They're willing to work with us and allow us to facilitate the program. So what the first step for parents, well, the first step I think, maybe, you mentioned it, is going to the website. There's a phenomenal video on there that's really exciting to watch about how this program works. You see this happening in classes in Ohio and Indiana in that video, and how excited the kids are. I've also heard stories about how the schools actually like it because of discipline. The kids are excited about it. There's positive things that happen for the school community. When I first heard about this, and you might have a different feeling as a mom with kids in the school there locally, my first thought was, if this is simply allows children who are at a public school who are Christians to know each other Christians in the school, it's well worth doing it and well worth supporting their faith in the public school. But it also brings in a lot of kids who don't know anything and just want to learn about what's the Bible about, and their parents want to learn it too because the parent has to approve it. So you see a broad mix of the type of kids who come to this, don't you?
I think we will. Naturally, as a Christian parent and having had kids that have gone all the way through K through 12 at the public school, I can see the interest that we would have as a Christian family and jumping into that. While there's a really big interest from the program, from LifeWise, to reach the unchurched because it's very missional. I think there's a benefit there that you can't deny, that when you get Christian students who attend a public school, who might not otherwise feel comfortable sharing their faith or being a witness in the public school, they're able to connect on this different level and spend an hour, I think it's up to an hour, maybe 2 hours, once every week. LifeWise program, I think, runs on about an hour once a week. And that they're going to be naturally drawn because they're like-minded for that reason. But then you're also going to get the students whose parents say, maybe this is going to help their behavior. Maybe we're not believers. Maybe this is just something that I want my kid to be involved in and be taken out instead of sitting there for another non-essential session that they might be struggling with in the school. They might be saying, this is a good option. It's something different. It's something I want to try. And the great thing is it's run really well and the kids like it. And because the kids like it, they want to go. They come back talking about what a fun time it is. Yes, they're going to talk about what they learned, just like when they're pulled out for health education, sex education, and other things. They talk about those things. And so this is one of the things, it's just an option for a parent. If a parent thinks they want them to go and have this kind of education, they're going to come back. They're going to talk about it. They're going to be changed because we know that God's word is a living, it's alive, and it's going to change their lives. And so it's not maybe going to be remarkable instantly, but it's something that's noticeable. And I think that's what you said, in that teachers like it. And I think that teachers like it regardless of the fact that it's Christian, that it's Bible based. It's something they like because they like to see the kids come together and doing something that they enjoy with people that they trust, with adults that they care for and that are cared by. And so it's just a good program. You know, it's well run and it's exciting.
You know, throughout my life, through whether it be Vacation Bible School or working in children's church or other ministries, I've found a lot of parents today, and we're kind of in a post-Christian society. That's obvious, I think, to everybody. But there's a lot of parents out there who maybe they would never go to church or don't want to go to church, but they would like for their children to learn a little bit about religion, about Christianity, about faith, and they're willing to send their kids to something that's not church-based per se, or not maybe involved getting up Sunday morning, getting the kids dressed, getting them ready to go to church and all that hassle, who will send them to this program because they think it's something that they want them to at least know a little bit about. And so I think it's a great opportunity for kids to learn about the Bible and Christianity. And again, it's optional, it's voluntary. But let me ask you this as we kind of wind down. What types of things do you specifically need in Hamilton County that would help your program? And I'm sure other programs would have the same answer, other directors in other counties. But what could we do, our audience do, to find out more about LifeWise and to help these programs as they get started through these steps that LifeWise is implementing?
So the first thing they can do is definitely go to the website. There's so much information and it's tailored very nicely to your interest on the website. You'll be able to choose the school district that you're interested in helping. So your viewers are probably from all over the place. And even if they're not in Hamilton County, they can go anywhere and find a program that they're interested in, one that's starting. If it's not there in the drop-down menu, they can say, send me more information. I'd like to learn more. I'd like to start up. So it's all there, kind of plug and play. The one thing that we need, and I think other local programs that are in the same timeline as us, would be we need teachers, we need board members. So we are run by an advisory board, and so we'll need that. And the jobs are specific. There's more information that you can get. It's connecting with me as a director with other local directors. All of those each have a button. So if you just find your district that you're interested in, click on join the team, you'll see their job posts, essentially, is what there are. And everybody will have to be applied. They'll have to fill out an application. It's all just through the links. If you have any trouble with the links, you can email me. My email is hollywilson@lifewise.org. Pretty simple to remember that. And it's also available on that homepage for Noblesville. Noblesville we haven't rolled out yet. So there's a little bit of training left to do. Right now I'm trying to staff my board. And so I haven't put out any invitations. This is my first invitation. So if anyone has an interest in staffing the board, we have specific areas that we need leaders on the board, and I can have up to 9. And so I think I have to have 5, but I can have up to 9. So that's what I'm looking for immediately. And then a lead teacher will be the next thing that I'll post. I think that post got put up today, and volunteers. But for me personally, I think every director is different. I would like to start out sort of soft and slow and see if we have the process in place to make sure that we can handle the interest. Connecting with churches as well. If you have members who are watching this and attend a church or pastor a church, have leadership role in church, we could use, we need to hear from you, and a commitment too, to allow us to use a space, even if it's 1 or 2 days a week for a couple hours. We'll take all that information, put it together in a big system, and see where we can place these kids and make sure that we can make it work.
I also know it's not easy to ask for this, but LifeWise chapters locally will need funding as well. So you can make a donation to LifeWise, designate it for Noblesville or wherever you are at some point if they have that steering committee going. The other thing is they need prayer. So I would encourage people to pray for LifeWise, pray for this movement. It's growing quickly. There's a lot of interest in it. But go to the website, learn more about it, lifewiseacademy.org. Google that. Again, watch the video. The video will really excite you about what the possibilities are here in Indiana to help kids in school learn more about the Bible. Well, Holly, thank you for joining us today. I know you're very busy. It's good to see you again, and because we serve on the steering committee together. So thank you for joining us and telling us a little bit about LifeWise, and thank you for all you're doing for the students and families in Hamilton County.
Thank you, Micah, and thank you for highlighting this. This is an important thing, and we need your support. Appreciate it.
Well, I hope that gives you a little snippet about LifeWise. Again, please go to their website, check them out. Regardless of whether you have kids in the local public school or wherever you are in Indiana, please go to that website to learn more about this exciting new program at lifewiseacademy.org. Well, I'm Micah Clark. Hope you enjoyed that today. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for watching and for reading our weekly emails on Wednesday. Have a great weekend.